Filling your ears, no Latinum required. Keeping up with the Cardassians. Always profit-free. Follow us on YouTube. Download at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Rob. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm well. How are you?
I am great.
That's great. I like hearing that.
I like being there. I like saying it.
How is everybody out there? Thank you for joining us on Keeping Up with the Cardassians.
And I am Bill.
This is Rob, and Nick is right here. You won't notice him because you never do.
He's cosplaying as the Holy Ghost today.
Yes, that's true. We seems May has been a difficult schedule month for us.
Yeah, we haven't seen Sean in forever.
Who's
Somebody
that?
even mentioned it in the comments.
I don't know who that is. Never heard of him.
Even though he's never heard of him, Sean is still a part of the show. That for those 2 or 3 people who actually miss Sean, you will see him again. He's had a busy May.
That's true.
I guess we all have.
May has been an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
But we're back. Thanks for joining us. We are Keeping Up with the Cardassians. We are a pop culture show where we review TV shows, lists, comment on comic books, CDs, anything that comes out, anything that hits the pop culture
Anything
ethos.
that crosses our little minds.
Yeah, and if you ever suggest anything, we will probably talk about that too. Mm-hmm. And then at the second part of the episode, we review what's usually a Star Trek series, and we're in Star Trek Season 6 of The Next Generation. Yes. We're hitting the chase today.
Yeah, I think Season 6 is probably the best season of Next Generation. It had a couple of bummers. Like you know my feelings on Man of the People. One of the worst.
You know my feelings on Man of the People.
Yes. They made 2 really good points that you really enjoyed.
Fantastic points.
I didn't care for that episode.
No, it sucked. It's terrible.
There was very lazy writing. Yeah. The episode we're reviewing today, I did enjoy it, but there was some lazy writing in that as well.
Yes, there was. But that's the second half, Bill.
Yes, that's the second half. Just a little preview.
That's a little tease.
I want to make sure they stick around to the end.
A little tease.
What was Bill talking about? What was that lazy writing? Well, you have to stick around for the second half.
And Nick will return next week, where he's more natural at doing this intro part than I am. But he'll be back next week. Mm-hmm. So this week, again, you get Bill and me. Yeah. How you been, Bill? It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What was going on last week? Last week was the holiday, and I think we just decided not to do it because it's the holiday and everybody's going to be busy. And
yep.
Yeah. And plus, it was just rainy. It was awful.
Yeah. And we knew Jeopardy was coming out yesterday.
Yeah. And I barbecued for the holiday, but I wound up doing it in the garage because it rained all day Saturday.
I don't believe you because I don't see any barbecue here.
Because I ate it all. Actually, I had made some pulled pork, and I bought a pork shoulder, and it was about maybe a 10-pound pork shoulder. So I cut it in half, and I froze one half. And then the other half, I made some pulled pork. I put it on the grill. My wife, in her foresight, she said, "Do you think we should freeze some of this?" I said, No, I don't. I think it'd be okay. She froze it anyway. Good call.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That 5 pounds of shredded pork went a lot further than I thought. And it's just the 2 of us. We don't have any kids.
Just saying, I work 3 miles away from you.
You know what?
Skis.
You could have stopped by.
Skis.
I should have called you. So the next time I do something really tasty on the grill, I'll let you know. It's like, hey, stop by and grab something.
Let's send Bill the hate at 734-494-0980. The selfishness he shows.
It's really the absent-mindedness. There's an expression we say at my church, charge to my head, not my heart.
That's true. So we got some things to talk about today.
Yeah.
What do you want to lead off with?
What I want to lead off with is, as you all know, maybe you don't know, I started watching Battlestar Galactica. And so as I'm watching it, I had decided I'm gonna go back and listen to the podcast that you guys did when you reviewed it. I don't think I'm gonna do that because that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of dedication. Wait, no, it's not. That's not a lot of time, Bill. Not at all.
No, not at all. Go back and watch all those episodes.
Yeah.
But I did listen to the first episode where you guys did reviewed the first episode of Battlestar Galactica, and I listened to the whole thing. And there was a list that you guys reviewed, and my FOMO kicked in, and I wanted to talk about it.
All right.
And although this was like 4 years ago, this was Rolling Stone magazine. They had a list of the 100 greatest television show theme songs, and I have thoughts on it.
I would like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and we were talking a little about this before the show started. I didn't tell them the shows I had a problem with, but obviously, I think they're controversial on purpose, and they'll purposely leave out stuff that they know people liked, and they'll purposely include shit. Excuse me, I said it.
Oh, dang.
They'll purposely include stuff that they knew that people were like, "What's up with that?" So I think they do that on purpose.
So I'll give if you have a memory of that episode that we did, kudos to you. But I'll give the top 20 real quick.
That works.
We'll work down from 20, and we'll go from there. So, oops, I went way too far. There we go. Sorry about this. Dead air's never good. There you go, Bill. All right, 20.
All right.
All in the Family. Let's go to 19 is The Sopranos. 18 is The Simpsons. 17, The Muppet Show. Good call. The Rockford Files at 16. Mission Impossible, 15. The Wire, 14. Cheers, 13. 12, we got Hawaii Five-0. 11 is Game of Thrones. 10 is Too Many Cooks. 9 is The OC. My Phone is Buffering at 9. 8 is Friends. 7 is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. 6 is The Twilight Zone. Sorry, 6 is The Twilight Zone. 5, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. 4, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I don't even know that show.
3, Sanford and Son. 2, The Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island, a tie.
Yeah,
That's weak.
You guys said that in the original episode. You had a big problem.
I don't remember it all. The one, The Jeffersons.
And number 1, The Jeffersons. So let's start with the top 20. There are a couple in the top 20 I think were nicely placed in the top 20.
Okay.
Like The Simpsons. The Simpsons deserve to be in the top 20. I think they probably should have been in the top 10. But top 20 is fair.
Longevity alone, they get put up there.
Exactly. A couple that I don't understand why they were even on the list at all, or at the very least not top 10, was The Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone was on there.
Yeah, I said, well, I don't understand why it's top 10.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm like, that shouldn't even be on there.
Really?
I don't think.
Okay.
And same thing with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood belongs on the list, I think, but top 10, no.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. On the other hand, there were some bangers that were a lot higher than they should have been, and some that were left out at all. So like the Flintstones was number 80-something.
Okay.
The Flintstones should have been a lot higher. It should have been at the very least top 25, the Flintstones, but it was like 80-something. And there was a couple that was completely left out. Like The Office was left out. It should have been on the list. I'm not saying it needs to be top 10 or top 20, but it should have been on the list. They left out one of my favorites of all time, Moonlighting. They left that one out. That should have been on the list.
Okay.
Moonlighting deserved a place on that list. And another one was Airwolf.
Airwolf is the banger.
Yeah, it was a banger. And the show didn't last long, but still, there were shows that they only had one episode, and it wound up on the list. Yeah. So it's like, if they have an episode show that had one episode, they could put Airwolf. I think it lasted maybe 1 or 2 seasons.
It lasted 4 seasons.
Wow.
The coincidence of you bringing Airwolf up is wild, because I just watched the first episode earlier this week, and then I watched a short documentary on the making of that show. Mm-hmm. And it moved over to USA Network at one point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's when Stringfellow Hawk left the show.
Yeah,
it was the other guy that was on the show. That's when it went to USA. Okay. And only really the first season had the budget to work with. But everybody knew when that theme song came on, you knew. Mm-hmm. You knew that you were going to get something to blow up. You knew that you were going to be entertained, at least for the first season. Yeah. Apparently the second, third, and fourth season were awful, and I don't remember that.
I don't remember them either. I remember watching the show because I was like 10, 11, 12 or something like that when it came out.
It was dark, dude.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember the episodes. Do you know the show is actually based on a movie?
Yes, I do know that.
And I remember seeing the movie. I remember the movie being a lot better than the TV show. And at the end of the movie, they destroyed the helicopter.
Wasn't that Blue Thunder, though?
Oh, you're right. Thunder.
That was Blue Thunder.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting my
because people would yell us if I didn't say that.
Thank you for pointing that out. You don't need to yell. He's right. That was Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder had a TV show as well.
Blue Thunder was a jam. Dana Carvey, early Dana Carvey.
Was he in that?
Yeah.
Okay, but they had a TV show as well. So I mixed it up with Airwolf. I don't think Airwolf had a movie. I don't think
Airwolf premiered after the Super Bowl one year. The 2-hour premiere.
Okay.
And the 2-hour premiere I just watched. I forgot how dark that was. Holy crap.
What you watching on?
Amazon Prime.
So it's like streaming for free?
Yeah.
I will check it out.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts now.
Right.
Now, when you come back next week, you got to let me know what you thought of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, back to the list, though.
Yeah.
Airwolf wasn't on there. That should have been on there. And I had a real problem with anything being on the list that wasn't written to be a television show theme song.
So it wasn't original to that show.
It wasn't original to the show, like the OC and Dawson's Creek. Their theme songs were pop songs that already existed. It wasn't written for the show. I don't think those should have been on the list at all.
What if the song was not written for the show, but it wasn't something that was known before the show premiered? I'll give you two examples. I think Friends is synonymous with the show. Mm-hmm. I would fight you on that argument. I don't know if it was popular, or I don't know the band. I don't know anything about it, but Friends, that song, if you hear that song, you think Friends. You don't think whatever that band is. Another one from a band not a lot of people know, but when that Smallville song comes on, you're like, oh yeah.
And I didn't know Friends wasn't written for the show.
No, I don't think it was, at least.
But Friends shouldn't be on there, in my opinion. Then
see, I'd fight you on the Friends with because Friends was such a popular.
You may be right, but maybe
dominance.
Give it a it has to be a something with some lasting some like. Nick used the term the culture of zeitgeist a lot in that episode. Yeah. Something that entered the zeitgeist. Then that's such a pretentious word. But I'm going to use it. But no,
it's true because if I hear I never watched the OC, but if I hear that song, I don't think OC. I don't either. I think I got to turn the radio station.
The song that for Dawson's Creek was that Paula Cole song.
Don't think that as well.
I don't think when I hear it like you, I turn the radio station. I don't think about that show. I don't even remember what the song for the OC was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you give me a few minutes, I can think of it.
Yeah. And then, but there are other songs like the theme for Moonlighting. It was written for the show. It actually became a big hit. They played that on the air. So yeah, that should have been on the list. So and they do it on purpose. They want people to talk.
Oh yeah, it's clickbait.
Yeah, exactly. Rage bait, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. But like the A-Team. Like the A-Team was a theme that was iconic there for a few minutes.
A-Team even on the list?
I didn't read through the whole list.
I'm gonna Google.
And I don't recall. But if you look at the A-Team was like, you can compare it for Knight Rider and a lot of other things, but I think A-Team in the long run was a lot more iconic or in the zeitgeist, as we said, I guess, than so many other themes back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see Cheers in the top 20 because I think that was a jam.
Cheers should have been top 20.
Yep, absolutely. And there's one in there.
The A-Team didn't land on the list.
That's criminal.
It is.
That is criminal. It absolutely should be on the list. It should have been on the list.
And Mr. Rogers deserved to spot on the list, but should have been much lower. Should have been like in the, at least, no higher than 50, I think.
Yeah. The Muppets was a jam. Mm-hmm. Top 20, I don't know, but there's a little bit of bias there because I do like the Muppets.
Yeah.
Where I'm fine with it being where it is.
And same thing with Fraggle Rock. I didn't even watch the show, but I love that theme song.
I agree. So Mission Impossible at 15. Where are you at on that?
I think that Mission Impossible, kind of like Mr. Rogers, deserves a place on the list, but it should have been 15. It should have been way.
See, lower. I think I can accept where it is because talk about longevity. Mm-hmm. It's huge longevity. It's 1966 is when it came out. I
think a lot of times in this generation, people more associate that
with
a TV show. My wife didn't even know Mission Impossible was a TV show.
Really?
She goes, there was a Mission Impossible TV show? I said, yes. The movie was taken from the TV show.
Yeah.
And I explained how in the first movie, Jim Phelps, he was basically Tom Cruise's character.
People are so mad.
In the first season.
Yeah.
In the TV show. And the original actor refused to come back when he found out what they were going to do.
Yeah, he was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, and if I was a huge fan of the show, I'd be pissed too. It's like if they brought back Knight Rider and turned Michael Knight into the bad guy.
Yeah, that would be a bummer.
Yeah,
I guess I'd probably be a little like if they all of a sudden Kirk was the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah, to put it in the relationship, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Jim Phelps was a good dude.
Yeah.
And I guess it was supposed to feel like it was continuation. Mm-hmm. That was the intention, at least. It wasn't like a different universe or whatever like that. So
I mean, but when they turned him into a bad guy in the movie, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I know you've seen it more recently. So correct.
30 years. It came as of May 22nd. It had come out 30 years ago.
Wow. So in the movie, he didn't become a bad guy because of any philosophical reasons. It was the money, right?
It was money, and he was just beat down by the system.
I mean, and that was weak. I mean, if you're going to turn a hero like Jim Phelps into a bad guy, give him a good reason. Make it because he was morally opposed to something they were doing, not just because he wanted the money.
I remember one thing when I was watching that movie for the first time that I couldn't, like that movie surprised me, and rewatches, I got something new out of it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And because I watched the original show with my folks and then the 80s version with my folks,
I had forgotten about the 80s version.
my mind could not wrap around that there's a potential for him being the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got revealed as the bad guy, I was legitimately like, the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it as a viewer where it mind fucked me.
Yeah. I mean, and I was aware that he was the hero in the first show.
Yeah.
But I rarely watched the original show. So, I was like, that was interesting. But, I wasn't like outraged like huge fans of the show was because I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they did it with a show that I am a huge fan of, like you said, if they turned Kirk into a bad guy or Picard or something like that, then I'd be pissed. Oh, Cisco comes back from the Prophets and now he's evil. That would
now he's like the cut sympathizer. He's a Pod Wraith. Yeah. Oh, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
That would.
They'd have to recast him too.
Although you couldn't rule it out with this current regime.
No, yeah.
Comes back as evil and that to find his way to good.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
So I was tardy to the party, but those are my thoughts on the. Ooh, that could be a segment. Bill is tardy to the party.
I kind of like it. We got to come up with some music though.
Bill is party to the tardy. Ooh, that's not right. I said it wrong. Bill is tardy to the party. That could be the theme song.
Oh, we'll challenge Nick with coming up with a song. Trust me. You'll appreciate it.
All right.
If you've seen any of the Toy Time with Joe and Fiasco.
All right.
You got some BSG thoughts though, don't you?
Yes. So I started watching Battlestar Galactica. And I had, I'm just shocked that I've never really watched the show.
Okay.
Because it seems right in my wheelhouse of stuff.
I've never heard of it.
Well, what it is this show about these humans. They created these robots called the Cylons, and kind of like in Terminator Rise of the Machines or Terminator movies, the Cylons rose up against them, and they're at war with the Cylons.
So they're AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah. And Sean would be right on those bastards. That's what we get. But yeah. So I started watching the show, and I'm like halfway into season number 2 right now.
So you're cranking through it.
Yeah. And it is very well written, and it's a darker show.
Oh yeah.
Than anything Star Trek is, and despite that, they have managed to put in a couple episodes in there that were actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's a very dark show. But yeah, I'm very impressed, and I remember when it was on.
Impressed, huh?
Yeah. Well, I remember when it was on. Everyone was talking about how good the writing was on the show, and I'm saying, okay, yeah, this is good writing. I mean, it's not a whole lot of lazy writing like I've seen in. Yeah. And as much as I love Star Trek, they do a lot of lazy writing in Star Trek.
Sure, they do.
I haven't,
especially towards the last quarter of the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of those episodes, they rush it, they telegraph it.
But and this one, I think, because it's more episodic, not episodic. It's what's the word? Not episodic.
Not the opposite of that.
The opposite of episodic.
Wow.
Serialized.
Thank you.
I drew.
We both had a stroke here on camera.
Since it's more serialized, I think that just lends itself into being able to take your time with stories and not resolving things right away. And I've noticed that, each episode does have its own story that's resolved in that story.
Yeah.
But there is, of course, that overarching arc, I guess, that goes through the entire show.
So we talked to Ronald D. Moore when we were watching DS9, and Nick started talking about Battlestar Galactica, and I'm like, none of us, Joe or the other, we haven't seen it other than Nick. So he was asking questions about how, this person compared to this person. And I like Adama. I do like Adama quite a bit. Not that I've ever heard of him. I like Adama quite a bit, especially when he get down to his philosophy on the military and the government. And that's good stuff. I don't know if you've that far when he gave a nice little speech. But also, private question on this month's Star Trek Jeopardy.
Okay.
Nice. Plug.
Coming soon to a computer screen near you.
We just had one released this past Friday.
Airing now on a computer screen near you.
We put them out monthly, but yeah, we did a USS Battlestar Galactica prize category.
Yes, I remember that. That was actually pretty impressive. And I don't think I've gotten to any of those episodes yet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw the Dean Stockwell clip, and I think he's from the very last episode. When the show went off the air, they made a 2-part miniseries.
Okay.
I don't know if it's 2-part or not, but it was either a movie or a miniseries, kind of like the introduction. And I'm pretty sure Dean Stockwell is in that.
Okay. Has the other ship showed up yet? I don't know the name of it.
No.
Okay.
But thankfully, I knew that was happening, so you didn't give me a spoiler.
Well, crap. I was trying not to give you a spoiler, but I gave you a spoiler in the process.
No, that's all right. Like I said, I knew that was happening. So if I didn't know, I'm like, what ship? You bastard.
I'm a genius. That's hilarious. My bad.
Yeah, I know way too much about shows I haven't watched.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I know how Battlestar
It's hard.
Galactica
It's hard to
is.
avoid them.
Yeah.
Like even with like new music came out. So this past yesterday, the new Shinedown album came out, and I refused to listen to any of the tracks until I listened to the album.
Mhm.
Not good, by the way. So I refuse but to even avoid those songs, it's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And because Spotify random stuff, and then they're like, nope, skip.
My wife is watching This Is Us now for the first time. I've never seen the show.
Oh yeah.
And I've watched a little bit with her here and there.
My
and
wife watched it a lot.
And it is a good show, but it's just not something I'm like really interested in. Despite that, I know a lot about that show as well. I mean,
Okay.
And I knew exactly how Jack died in the show. And
Is that the parent?
that's the dad?
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked my wife, I said, is Jack dead yet? She goes, no, I not yet, but I'm thinking he dies in the fire. I was like, okay. She goes, you know, I know exactly how he died. So if you haven't watched the show, here's a spoiler.
Spoiler.
Jack, their house caught on fire, and he ran into the house to get the dog out. And he didn't die in the fire, but he inhaled way too much smoke, and he wound up having cardiac arrest, and that's what killed him. And I knew that. Even though I hadn't seen the show, I knew that.
Nice.
And my wife goes, does he die in a fire? I said, kinda.
Kinda.
And afterwards, she goes, okay, now I see why you said kinda.
Yeah. Nice.
Because he didn't actually die in the fire, but he died because of the fire.
I was flipping through the channel. I can't say channels. The streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Noir
Yes.
came out. I did not know that, so I watched the first episode.
I watched the first episode.
Oh, look at that. Look at us.
Hey, did you watch it in color or black and white?
I watched it in both
I watched.
because you can switch it halfway.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I watched it in black and white, and it was pretty good. I have thoughts on it. So this Spider-Man doesn't seem like he's nearly as strong as the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
The way I kind of took it is that he hasn't he's avoided using his powers for a while, so it's they're kind of in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hasn't exercised that muscle, so it's weakened.
Kind of like Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan series.
Don't know what that means.
Yeah, but in the Obi-Wan series, this was after the Order 66, and he's in hiding, and he hasn't used his powers in a while, and so they got weak, and you could see that. But throughout the show, he goes on this mission to rescue Princess Leia, because she was like a child at the time, and she got kidnapped. And as he goes on this mission, he's using his powers, and they come back. And so, yeah, it was kind of like that, if that's what happened.
That's kind of what I kind of view it as, because I got into the second episode a little bit, and it looks like he had a little bit of performance issues. Mm-hmm. I mean, it happens. It hasn't happened to me.
Yeah,
hasn't happened to me.
He's an older guy. He's older than either of us. So, it happens.
It happens, and the poor guy had performance issues.
Not to me either.
No. And so I imagine it's because he hasn't worked that muscle out.
Yeah.
That he has that particular issue.
Uh-huh.
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
You don't use it, you lose it.
Yes.
That's
all we're gonna say.
That's all we're gonna say. So I went into it just because I was looking for something to kill time, and I was a little pleasantly surprised because Nicolas Cage is unique.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'm glad that they went with Nicolas Cage.
It's just perfect.
Yeah, he's in his
really
60s.
Yeah,
but a less confident producer probably would have went with someone younger.
Sure.
And I'm glad they didn't.
Well, yeah, because I think, especially at his age, that he's playing in the movie too, or the television series. Yeah. I didn't know it was a television series either. I had no clue.
I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was a television series till like 2 or 3 months ago. I thought it was going to be a movie.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yes, I thought the same thing. I had no idea it was coming out this soon.
I knew it was coming out like early summer, late spring. I thought it was going to come out like maybe sometime in June. So I didn't know it was coming out this soon either.
Yeah, good to know. You had something for Supergirl, didn't you?
Yeah. So I read an article this morning, actually, while I was
nice.
I was in the crapper, and I read. I guess you guys didn't need to know that, but that's what you do when you're in the crapper.
Hey,
you read something.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Hey, we got something for that too.
Yeah,
I'll have to read.
So I was reading this article about Supergirl, and where evidently Millie Alcock, I think that's her name.
I think so.
The actress playing Supergirl, she had said something that people thought was controversial, and basically she was responding to some negative comments that the movie has gotten and that she has gotten, although the movie hasn't even come out yet, but people are responding to it negatively. And she said, but who's really being pissed off here? And she said something along the lines of, it's conservative Christian dads. And, and sometimes, if you piss off the right people, then that's all that matters. And so this article was saying that people were saying, oh, this movie's going to tank now. People aren't going to watch it. And I don't think that's the case. I mean, because, there will be some people who heard that comment and they say, okay, I'm not going to watch the movie. But for the most part, I think if you're somebody who's going to see that movie, you are going to see that movie.
Yeah.
If you're somebody who wasn't going to see that movie, you weren't going to see that movie. Her comment, I don't think, was controversial enough to affect people that way. Now, and I was telling you before the episode, I said, now if she just pledged allegiance to Satan or said Jesus is a homo or something, then yeah, I could see them saying, okay,
the Christians, yeah,
because that would be a very controversial comment. But what she said was relatively tame.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was taken out of context. I'm sure it was set up with a. I don't know. I didn't read the article. But I'm sure it was manufactured to be worse than it is.
Rage
bait. I'm sure they took a clip, and I'm sure there was more context to it.
Yeah,
I may be wrong.
Yeah, you may be wrong, but I don't think you are.
But it just seems like people take those things and they really kind of want to pull it. It's like with this new Superman. They tried to say that was woke, and I'm like, no, that's Superman. Mm-hmm. We forget that. I love Man of Steel. But that's not really Superman.
No, that was a reimagined Superman. I mean, and Man of Steel was good for what it was.
It was great.
But it's kind of like my thoughts on Discovery. I liked Discovery. I wouldn't say I love it, but I enjoyed it. But the only way I was able to enjoy it is in my head canon. This took place in a different universe, in a parallel universe. So it's fine that Spock has a sister that nobody ever heard about, and they have this spore drive that they for some reason decided not to create any others of. So in my head, alternate universe is fine.
Yeah, and with Man of Steel,
and that's my thoughts on Man of Steel, because Man of Steel was very different from Superman. Like you said, it wasn't really the Superman, that we know, because it was a lot darker. He kills.
He didn't have the oh boy, like that kindness about him. One
thing I did enjoy that I thought was really good was Lois Lane figuring out he's Superman.
Oh yeah,
because here she is. She's this award-winning journalist.
Yeah,
and she can't figure out who Superman is. I mean, she figured it out, and she wasn't even looking him in the face every day. She didn't even know Clark Kent.
Well, plus they didn't really do much to try to hide in Man of Steel, making Clark Kent look different than Superman. Mm-hmm. Conversely, in Superman 2025, Clark Kent looked a lot different than Superman.
Yeah, he did. Different hair and
hair.
I could see that fooling people.
Yeah,
because the Christopher Reeve Superman, he had the little swoop.
Yep.
That was really the only difference in his hair.
Yeah. But they his posture changed and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, you're right, and that was brilliant. His posture did change as Superman, but still, Clark Kent. Come on, you're Superman. Who you're fooling?
Yeah,
only one you're fooling is Lois Lane.
Well, love goggles or something like that.
I guess on the other hand, I just the other day I saw this list of all these time celebrities lost lookalike contests. So Dolly Parton, Hugh Jackman, Charlie Chaplin, a bunch of folks have entered lookalike contests and they lost.
Yeah.
And because people didn't think they looked like him. They told Hugh Jackman he was too tall. He's literally Hugh Jackman. You're too tall.
Sorry, you can't be Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman. You got voted off the Hugh Jackman Island. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think just like if you're out in the wild, unless you take a moment to stop and make eye contact with somebody, may not see that celebrity or whoever it is.
I remember I heard a story when they were filming one of the Superman movies. I don't know if it was the first one or not. Sometimes during breaks in filming, Christopher Reeve would go out, and if he was just going out regular, people would recognize him. But if he wore the Clark Kent glasses, nobody said anything.
Really?
Yeah. I may have the story wrong, but that's what
I think you're right, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. If I did get the story wrong, don't at me. Don't at me, bro.
Did you see the new Star Wars?
I have not.
Okay, I did, and it's only my second time seeing one of those movies in a theater. Mm-hmm. And just real quick thoughts. everybody who's a longtime listener of the show knows I'm not a huge Star Wars person.
Mm-hmm.
And my official review summary is it's a Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it very much felt like a classic Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
And, you know, I'll see it, but I am a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm kind of burned out on Star Wars right now.
Well, yeah, we had that our last episode where we talked about is there too much Star Wars out there.
And I do want to see the movie, but I'm in no rush to see it.
Yeah, there were cool things about that. I think there were things that I really liked, and I can't recall what they are right now. My big question is I'm watching this movie, and I have not watched the television show, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm go, why is this thing hanging out with Pedro Pascal the entire time? Like, what's the benefit of having this thing on his shoulder the entire time?
Talk about Grogu?
Yeah.
All right, so the deal is, Pedro Pascal character, he is a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And in the very first episode, he was sent to get Grogu. He didn't know who he was, what he was. All he was told is he's 50 years old because Grogu is Yoda species and they age differently than we do.
Sure. It's like dog years.
Yeah. And he went to get it, and he saw that this was a kid and not some grown man. And I guess his heart melted, and he was like, nope, I'm not going to take this kid back to the people who wanted him. I'm going to keep him and raise him. And that's basically what he's doing. He's kind of like a father figure to him now.
But bringing him on missions where it's basically a liability during missions.
Batman did the same thing.
But the kids were at least trained.
Yeah. I mean, well, actually,
this thing just stood there.
Grogu was actually he was a youngling, a Jedi youngling.
I know it uses the Force he uses Force twice.
And he's actually been trained as well, although he doesn't remember most of his
I'd say
training.
It doesn't look like he was trained.
He doesn't remember most of his training, but you know, when push comes to shove, he's able to do some stuff with the Force.
Yeah, he did, but most of the time it's a liability. I'm like, why bring this thing if you can't count on it to get your back?
He has Din Djarin's back when it matters.
True.
That's the Mandalorian's name, Din Djarin.
Okay. All right. There's the Jabbas. I remember the Hutts were back.
Uh-huh.
I was like, Pizza the Hut is back. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Was Giancarlo Esposito on this?
Oh, no, he was not.
Okay. He was in the TV series.
You got me thrown up there. I'm like, wait, process. I was going characters, and then I'm like, no. Actually, that's a person.
He was in the TV series. He was in a couple of seasons of that. But, you know, they wrote him out, I think, in a way that was, he didn't die, but they wrote him out in a way that, you know, you wouldn't be surprised if you never saw him again. Basically, he got arrested and taken off. But, you know, although I wouldn't be surprised if he came back either. So
Sigourney Weaver was in it. I was like, look at that.
That's right. I did remember. I heard that she was in the movie. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, it wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was
right.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all right. Sorry if that makes you mad, but it was all right.
Yeah, I'll see it. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I think other people probably enjoyed it more than I did.
Yeah, I probably enjoy it more than you do, but I'm like I say, I'm not in a big hurry to go see it.
My kid is a fan, so that's why we went.
Your daughter, or your son?
My son.
Okay.
So that's why he's watched all those. So
okay.
He's like, "What'd you think?" I go, "Yeah."
All right. We should bring Gavin down and get his thoughts on the movie.
You go wake him up right now.
Oh, he's still asleep?
Oh man, yeah, he is.
Well, it's 11 o'clock.
These kids stay up till.
I remember being his age. Yeah, I was sleeping that late on a Saturday too. If my dad would let me.
When I first got my first full-time job out of school, I worked later, and yeah, I'd sleep until noon, no problem.
When I was growing up, my dad just wouldn't let us. You know, he let us sleep in a little bit. But I would have been up by now because he was like, you ain't going to sit there and sleep all day just because you're up all night. It's not like you had a job. And he's right. I wasn't doing anything. I just watched TV.
A lot of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Channel 50.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight. The next generation. Oh, it was 11 o'clock. The Next Generation came on, and then they reran DS9 after it when DS9 came out. Sad I remember that.
Yeah.
Speaking of DS9, got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of our subjects we go to before we get to the chase.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back on season 1 of DS9, Sean's watching it right now. You're kind of joining them on the journey, but you've watched it before. What are, in your opinion, the 2 best episodes of season 1 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine?
So,
in order.
If you count The Emissary as 2 episodes,
I consider 1.
Okay, then Emissary is 1 episode. If you count it as 2, I was going to say it's The Emissary. But okay, Emissary is 1, and the other one would be Duet.
Okay, that's good. So which one would you put on top?
I would say Duet is on top.
Okay.
However, I was actually, for some reason, I was thinking about this yesterday. I think The Emissary is probably the best Star Trek series premiere of all the shows.
Now, when we first, so this whole podcast started because Nick and I were talking one day about DS9, and he's like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But I always used to say that other than the first one, TNG, Counter at Farpoint, Emissary was the worst.
You thought Emissary was the worst?
I did.
Huh.
And then, so for the podcast, we went back and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And people have heard this, and I'm sorry, I know you guys have heard this a bunch, but I watched Emissary, and I was like, whenever we started this, and I was blown away. Because that message in that episode blew me away. Because as a youngster, when I watched it in 1993 or whenever it was, I couldn't appreciate what was going on.
Yeah.
And then as an adult who's lost people, who has lived in that moment, I was like, holy crap. I agree with you. I think it is the best premiere now.
I mean, and like you, I'm just a little older. I was out of high school when DS9 came out. I think I was 20 years old. You said 93?
93.
Yeah. So I was 20 years old. But even at 20, I wasn't able to appreciate it then like I do now. Because, a lot of that stuff, there were some heavy themes.
Oh, there was heavy themes in that.
And they go over your head.
Oh, sure.
When I went rewatching it, and I've rewatched it a number of times over the years. I think, I really didn't appreciate it until I rewatched it after my mother had passed.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, this, and I'm with you there, Ben, with, some of that, with some of those heavy themes and how he was feeling and how he just existed in certain moments.
Well, yeah, you get stuck, and it doesn't have to be death. It could be, be losing a job or a girlfriend or a friend or something that just gets you locked in this moment of time that you can't get past. Because let's be real, all of us have been there where we just can't get past this bullet point.
Yeah. Oh, there are several in my life that
absolutely
like that, and like I said, it's not always death.
Yeah.
It's been other things that you just can't get past. And with me, it wasn't so much my mom's death that I couldn't get past, because I was good with that. I mean, and she had been sick for a while, and she was suffering, and when you're that sick, it's almost a relief when someone you love passes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really stuck in death, but like a lot of people, I had kind of a complicated relationship with my mother.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got stuck on some of those things that were never resolved, and it's like, okay, now they're never going to be resolved.
Yep. I understand that. I totally understand that. I've had that I've now moved past, and there are still things where I got my demons. That's what I call them, where, every once in a while that comes back, and then I'm stuck there again. And I'm like, how do I move out of this? And that's a question, right? How do you, and I know I haven't listened to my 2 episodes yet, but that episode is so good. But I almost view that outside of season 1 for me. My 2 are Duet and In the Hands of the Prophet.
Which one is Hands of the Prophet?
That's the season finale.
And what happened in that?
So in the episode, it's kind of where the Kai Wynn thing all comes into play, because she tries to stage the assassination of the other Vedic. Okay. And then they foil the plan. And so I know Duet is fantastic. And this is not, again, Duet's number 2 for me. In the Hands of the Prophet is my number 1 for season 1. Okay. The reason is because it's the political intrigue. It's the religion of it all. It sets up Kai Wynn for 6 more seasons. And it's just, I think DS9 landed on its feet and started running. It set up the circle for the 3-episode opener or 3-part opener for the next season. It just set up so much, and I thought it was quite a ride.
Yeah, Kai Wynn was such a great villain.
Man, wasn't she though?
And people talk about people you love to hate. She was a character you love to hate. She was a perfect antagonist, and she wasn't even the main antagonist. I think that's what made her so much better. I mean, she wasn't the main antagonist, but she was a consistent antagonist. Yeah. And what was the actress name who played her? I can't think of her name, but she won an Oscar for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She was Nurse Ratched in that.
Why can't I think of her name?
And I'm gonna look it up.
Thank you, because I'm drawing a blank. We're getting yelled at.
As soon as I pull it up, I'm gonna remember.
Oh, that's the worst though. But you're right. She originally, again, I didn't care for her acting, but now I get it. Going back and watching this series, I totally get it. So But yeah, In the Hands of the Prophet is the one that really got me.
Louise Fletcher.
Gosh dang it.
That's her name. And she just died a few years back.
Yeah, a few years back.
Yeah.
So,
but that I always appreciated her acting in that because she came across as somebody who, if you didn't know that she was a snake in the grass, you might actually possibly believe her.
And she's so condescending all the time.
Yeah, and you think with condescending, you think, okay, she's just condescending. Some people are like that.
Yeah,
you probably wouldn't think that she's such the villain as she is.
Man. Yeah, and I like how they had the cut go through the roller coaster, and he was like, maybe I'll be a little good, maybe I'll be a little bad, maybe and then he went bad.
Yeah,
you always knew he was bad, but
he committed to it, and that's what I would have wished. I wish they would have did. I don't know if you ever watched Yellowstone.
No, I did not.
Well, there's a character in Yellowstone. His name was Jamie. He was, the show is about the Dutton family and this ranch that they own, and Jamie was their adopted son. We didn't realize he was adopted till much later in the show, and Jamie was always back and forth.
Yep.
And I would have loved it if they'd have just, either, I told my wife, they need to shit or get off the pot with Jamie. either let him be a full-blown villain or redeem him. They never did either. He just stayed on the fence the whole show. And that I didn't like that. What's more likely in the real world? Someone who can stay on the fence and can't decide whether they're good or bad. I think people that go full one way or the other. I think in the real life, it will be someone who stays on the fence. Is more likely, and they try to keep a foot in both worlds. But that doesn't make for good television.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and I was really disappointed that they didn't let Jamie, either become just an outright villain like J.R. Ewing or something, and that would have been more what it was. He wasn't out.
J.R. Ewing drop,
but and I look at Gul Dukat. And they did with Gul Dukat what I wish they'd have did with Jamie. Because, he was always kind of a bad guy. But, like, you're right. Sometimes he was, almost a good guy.
Sometimes they seem like they wanted some redemption.
And for a while there, you think that they are going to redeem him.
Yep.
But they don't. They say, nope. They just crash and burns, and literally. And,
excellent. Now, one thing before we get in the chase that I got to mention is I actually just got in the mail yesterday. I was running out of my radio store candle. So I had to get my Mo radio store from Dio Candle. Dio Candle has been a friend of the show for a while now, off and on. But they're always a friend of the show because their shit's legit. And one thing I really like about when I ordered this, A, it comes fast, but B, you get an email where exactly the status is. It's being packed up. It's been shipped. It's out for delivery. It's delivered. I know some companies do that as well, and it's the way it's set up. But I mean, this is a thorough process, and it's quick. Yeah. And I've hoarded myself out for this radio store, but this radio store is legit as shit. So,
which one you were burning when I came? Oh, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, the Dio Pepper. Dio Pepper is
Dio Pepper. That's what they call it. Okay.
So I'm burning that. So you came down and you smelled Dio Pepper.
Yeah, and I commented. I said, "What is that? It smells like It's Dio.
It's Dio candles.
Yeah, Dio candle.
So I had to do. I mean, I love Dr. Pepper. So I had to try Dio Pepper, of course. So I got my new radio store sent. So that'll be our next week, and I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't tried Dio candle, again, we got hooked on it because of the video store candle that came out, and then Nick actually got the radio store. And when he burned that at his house, I was like, "What is that? I must have that." And I will not go without radio store candle moving forward. I'm not even a candle guy until I started smelling some of this stuff. Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you guys are legit fans of Dio candles because you were talking about it before they ever gave us a dime. And then for a while, they weren't getting anything from them. You were still hyping them up. So you guys are true fans. So I appreciate that. We joke that we're whores, and we are, don't get me wrong. But we're not going to blindly support something that we don't enjoy. And so far, like, there's a juice box one that's fantastic. There's a lot of smells they put out there. And again, we got over here, we got shipped these to, I forgot who won this one, but like they nailed the smells on a lot of these, like pot roast dinner. The pot roast dinner is
unreal.
one of my favorites. Yeah.
Like you can taste the gravy when you smell this.
And I'm not a big candle person, but if I ever bought a candle, it would be Dio.
I'm telling you, radio store. That's where it's at, man. Let's start there. And then they have we're a Star Trek podcast. Ultimately, yeah, we're pop culture. and I like to say we're a pop culture podcast, but we're a Star Trek podcast. Let's call it what it is. A Starship Enterprise candle. It burns upstairs just about every week. I'm almost out of that one too.
And obviously, clearly, we don't know what the Starship Enterprise really smells like, but this candle smells like what you'd expect the Starship Enterprise to smell like.
Absolutely. And if Dio Candle puts out a new shoe smell, I'm in trouble.
New car smell for me.
Oh, man. Yeah. So they've got a lot of unique scents on there. Go check it out, Dio Candle, and check out what some other smells.
Right.
Excellent.
Right.
The Chase.
The Chase.
Are you summarizing or am I?
I'll summarize it.
Yes!
All right. So Captain Picard gets surprised by his old archaeology instructor / mentor, because Picard has always had an interest in archaeology, and his mentor, Dr. what's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
I literally just watched the episode before you got here.
I watched it last night, and I can't remember his name. But at any rate, he surprised him, and so it turns out he has this, this crusade or whatever he wants to go on to collect some MacGuffin, and he wants Picard to come with him. And Picard says, "No, I've devoted my life to being a starship captain. If I leave the Enterprise, I can't come back. If I leave, I'm gone." And he says no, and the professor had some words and he left. And then boom, the professor gets killed by these generic aliens. Uridians, thank you. It's from Project Hail Mary, huh?
Huh.
Yeah. He was killed by Rocky and his family.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. And they were, because they were trying to get this information. So it turned out what he was looking for was this secret to how life started in the galaxy.
Yeah, the genetic genome of things. Yeah. Sidebar real quick. My daughter's seen Project Hail Mary 7 times.
7 times?
Yeah. I mean, she works in the movie theater, so she gets in for free. But she's paid twice, I think, for it.
I've seen it twice, and I'm waiting for it to come on Amazon. That, I think, was probably the best movie of the year so far.
Oh, God, yeah.
I love that movie. And I'm not necessarily saying it deserves to be Picture of the Year, but if it's not nominated,
yeah,
there's some shenanigans going on.
Well, is it
yeah.
Is it snooty enough?
No, it's not.
Is it self-righteous enough?
That's the reason why, if it's not nominated. Although lately we have been seeing some movies that were popular be nominated.
That's a courtesy nomination. That's all it is.
I'm fine with that. If Project Hail Mary is nominated, I know they're not going to win.
Yeah.
We know they're not going to win. But you know what? Throw them a bone, because it deserves to be in there. It's great. A really good movie. It's
had longevity at the theaters too, which is great. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry. I had to make fun of her, essentially. So The Chase.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
We start with this. I mentioned earlier that there was some before the show there was some lazy writing in this episode, and despite that, I thought it was a really good episode. But the part I thought was the lazy writing was Picard's reasoning for wanting to continue. I think it's Dr. Galen or
Galen. It was Galen. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if that was first name or last name, but I think it's Professor Galen. He wanted to continue Professor Galen's search and find whatever he was looking for. And his reason for wanting to do it, I thought, was lame. Basically, it's like, well, I'm not going to let him die for nothing. And he has this big conference where he's supposed to go to, where he's supposed to be negotiating this peace deal. And I just thought it was out of character for Picard to let his emotions get to him to that point where he neglects his job. And I realized he was very close to this man. At one point in the episode, he's telling, I think, either Riker or Troy, I don't remember which one. He said, I had a father, but he was like the father who got me, who understood me.
Yeah.
And so obviously this man meant a lot to him, and I get it. But I don't think that their reasoning for sending him on this adventure held up. I mean,
it was a little odd.
And plus he snapped at Troy and never apologized. I had a real problem with that.
Yeah.
But and I think if they'd thought about it, they could have found a reason that makes sense. Something where it was something that would have been important to Starfleet or to the Federation, why he was doing this, not just because he wanted to honor his mentor's wishes.
Yeah, or reached out to the Federation and say, hey, bro, we got this thing going on.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know. I mean, yeah, it was. I agree with you. I think that it just felt odd.
Yeah.
And I like in my head, I know you're like, all right. So in your head, you kind of go, okay, I know he's a little pissy about second guessing himself about going with him or staying as a captain, and the guy zinged him on his way out type of thing. But I don't know. It felt odd, and I thought maybe I was the one being difficult with it. But it seems like you echo that same.
Other than that, I enjoyed the episode.
Sure.
I thought it was really good. I just had a problem with his motivation for doing it. That I thought was lazy writing.
Yeah. At the beginning, I thought was interesting when Patrick Stewart as an actor had to respond to that object that he was given.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I don't know why in this particular episode, his acting to try to really sell it seems so like it was hard to do, and he was able to do it. But it seemed like I'm like, you're doing a good job selling this.
I thought so too. I mean,
yeah.
I really, and I remember seeing that scene and focusing on it because I thought they did a good job of making it seem like this is something he was excited about. And he even paused for a moment as if he wanted.
Oh my gosh!
As he wanted to relish the moment. It's okay, I want to take my time with this. I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, and so Patrick Stewart as an actor being able to sell that. I don't know why when I was watching, I was kind of getting a laugh out of it because he was doing such a good job with it. Like having to because even like when Riker I thought Riker, the character, did a great job acting like he cared. Because Riker's just like, can I bang it? Then I don't care.
Yeah, what are uncertain?
Yeah, right. But it was like, I enjoy the philosophy of like, they think that there's a bunch of individuals inside of each of us. It's kind of like when they were explaining that, I thought the movie Inside Out.
There is a philosophy, and I don't know what culture, but that, of course, a lot of what they do is borrow from actual cultures. Yeah. But there is a culture here on Earth somewhere where they have that same philosophy. Stephen King referenced it in one of his short novels, a novella called The Life of Chuck. And in that, he quotes a poem or something where he says, "I can tame multitudes," and basically along those same lines. Okay. It's been a while since I read that one, so I may be misremembering it, but I thought about that when I saw the episode last night.
Oh, yeah. And then there's one other thing, since we're talking about things that kind of irked us. Like we're like, that's kind of weak. It's well known that Cardassian, unless you're facing a derelict Cardassian station, that they're not much to speak of, right? So when she's like, unless I'm miscounting, I have 2 Cardassian ships and the Federation flagship, you've got 1. Picard should have been like, honey, that's cute.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why Picard wasn't worried because, Picard, he's no dummy. There have been other times where he knew he was outnumbered. He was like, okay, we're going to back off. This time he's like, no, I got this.
He's like, honey, stop. Just stop. And I thought that the actor who played the Klingon that came in was fun. He was very much a caricature.
I think his name is Robbie Cochran. I've seen he's one of those dudes. I saw this documentary.
How do you pull that one out?
I don't know. I may have his name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Robbie Cochran or Coltrane. I think it's Cochran. But I saw this documentary years ago, and maybe we should watch it. It was called That Guy in That Thing. And basically it talks about these actors who are, you see him all kinds of stuff. And he wasn't in this, but he reminds you, he's that guy in that thing. These actors who you see in all this stuff, and you recognize their face, but you don't know their name.
Speaking of which, Ensign J was in this episode for a split second. She walked by the transporter room.
I missed her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Robbie Cochran, that guy in that thing.
Yeah. There's one of those guys my wife and I were watching Ghost yesterday. And there's a guy, and I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. I'm like, oh, it's the guy. And I literally said, it's the guy. And I forgot he was the lead in the spoof series of Baywatch called Son of the Beach. And he's been a bit actor in hundreds of things. And I'm like, oh, that guy. I literally said, oh, that guy. She goes, who's that guy? I go, he's that guy. His name is Timothy Stack, I think. Okay. Why did I know that? I don't know. Yeah. Because I Googled him because I wanted to figure out, I couldn't figure out the show I watched with him in it. All kinds of things, though. But, going into this episode, again, it's another one where I'm like, I don't remember liking this episode. But then coming out of it going, I like that episode. I like that because for a while, and this is a direct answer for some critique Star Trek. I'm 100% positive of why everybody's bipeds, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good way to pacify some of that is that basically we're all seeds that were planted.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a big complaint or criticism people have had of Star Trek. Everybody's humanoid, and that's the reason why. In fact, I saw a meme the other day. I almost shared it in our group chat. I share a lot of jokes and stuff in the group. John Cochran, that's his name.
Okay.
I was like, that's not his name. It was John Cochran. I looked him up. I knew Cochran was his name. I just couldn't remember his first name.
John Cochran, got it.
Yeah. Cochran.
I got that past you there a little bit, didn't I?
You did. They almost slipped past the censors.
Nice.
But what was I saying?
I don't remember. That's the worst part.
But yeah, I know you said that you didn't like this episode the first time you saw it.
I don't remember liking it.
Yeah, and I remember actually liking this one the first time I saw it. I don't think I ever really paid attention to my thoughts about Picard's reasoning for going until maybe this time, or maybe I thought about it the last time I saw it. But I try to look at stuff with a more critical eye now that I'm going to be now that I'm doing this, because I'm the type of person. I really like most stuff. I mean, it's got to be pretty bad, like Man of the People. Yeah. Or the one from the first season.
See, you're just looking at Man of the People the wrong way.
The one from first episode, I can't think of the name of it, with the black people. What was it called?
Oh, Code of Honor.
Code of Honor. I can never think of the name of the episode. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad episode. A lot of the episodes from 1 and 2 were mediocre. Some were pretty bad. But
first two seasons were rough.
Yeah. But unless something's like, I like most stuff, unless it's just awful.
You're a half glass full or half glass full person.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I have to, look at it. I'm trying to look at stuff with a more critical eye now. It's like, okay, I do know I like this episode, but I got a problem with that. And now I can say,
Well, you're allowed to look at something and go, that's not feasible, and still enjoy something, right?
Yeah.
It's
but before it's like, I wouldn't care about that. It's like, Mystery Science Theater.
So here's what I think with this. So I've watched most Star Trek The Next Generation episodes between when I was a young man and now dozens of times. That's probably no exaggeration. Yeah. But I think when in 1994, it would have been 90, whatever this came out, I probably watched it and said, and then I may have skipped it or half paid attention to it upon rewatches. Mm-hmm. But, watching it now, it was a fun, almost like heist episode in a way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. Where they had to jump around and put things together. And I don't know why it didn't catch me before. And that's not like I rate this a 10 or anything like that, but it was an enjoyable episode. And then at the end where they kind of justify everybody being humanoids, it's a fun way to do that.
Is that it? If she weren't dead, I'd kill her again.
Yeah.
Best line of the episode.
So the founders are the ones that planted because those Slim Gens that played the founder. Yeah. So
they use the exact same makeup.
I know. So they're responsible for all the people they hate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All the salads they hate, they're responsible for.
They made their own mess.
Yeah. Then they tried to clean it up and lost.
I did think it was interesting that they used the exact same actress and had her look the exact same way. Yeah. And DS9 is on at this point. And although they might not have been, thinking of the founders at this point, maybe they were. I don't know. Certainly they knew what Odo looked like.
Yeah, it was at the end of season 2 where they introduced the Jemadar.
So.
And so it was in the next season. So season 3, it wasn't just yet where the founders came around then. Because we're still season 1 and 2.
I mean, if you're going to bring back the same actress, somebody liked her, fine. Make them look different.
Make it a little bit different. Yeah. Just make us, just tell us we're not dumb. Data versus the Klingon in 10 Forward.
Yeah. I thought it was funny how Data, when he beat him, he went right back
to what he's doing. He headbutts him.
Knocked himself out.
I like that he knocked himself out, but it was like, that was thrilling.
And I imagine for anybody else, a Klingon headbutt would probably be deadly.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
In fact, Worf talked about how on DS9, how he accidentally collided and butted heads with another kid when he
playing
was
soccer or something like that.
And the kid died.
The moral of the story is don't play soccer.
Yeah. If you're a Klingon.
Or at all.
Yeah.
Stick to real football. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I saw this clip the other day, news bloopers, where this reporter in Australia was talking about an American football game, and she goes, it was I think it was Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 69ers. And her two co-hosts, they just cracked up. She goes, 49ers.
I don't really want to watch the 69ers, if I'm being honest with you, in the football field. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Nope.
This is the point where in the past we would have got lost talking about football because OTAs just started.
Yeah. And I know that. I know OTAs just started. But you also know that I'm not a sports fan.
Oh, no. But coming here in a few months, you're going to have to get used to us divulging a little bit into football.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's going to happen. Sorry, guys.
How does Sean feel about sports? You know?
He likes hockey.
Okay. And I'm not totally uninterested in sports. I just don't. I don't watch games. Although these past few seasons, the Lions have been doing really good. So I've watched more games these last 2 seasons than I have in my entire life.
Would you join Nick and I watching it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Would you join Nick and I for watching football games? We could do a Patreon for that.
Ooh,
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because you could watch us swear. You could watch Nick go, I'm done.
And you guys can explain to me what the different positions are, because I know a lot of them, but I don't know their jobs. It's like, you know.
Oh, I could go in great detail.
It's like, you know, okay, this guy's a tight end, this guy's a receiver. What's the difference?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to tell you. It's a skill set, it's size, it's a lot of things that go into it. Oh, you just gave me an erection. I'd love to talk about
it. That was not my intent.
Oh, man.
Seriously.
But there's plenty of room in my Duluth pants.
Uh-huh.
We made Bill go to Duluth the other day. Did we talk about this?
We didn't.
Hold on. Let's be structured. Let's talk the chase.
Okay.
And then we can divulge.
And they didn't make me, but I chose to go with them.
So the chase.
The chase.
It was fun to watch him kind of jump around to get to the points. Working with the other species was kind of easy, especially the Cardassians, how it kind of, but it made sense at least. And when, I just gotta say this, when Picard and Beverly were in the quarters and he's kind of talking to her about like not regretting not being an archaeologist, Beverly can get it, man. She's underappreciated.
Actually, what
she's
he said
underappreciated.
Was he didn't regret the choices he made.
Yeah, he'd do it all again.
He'd do it all again. Yeah, but he also, the only thing he regretted was having to tell Professor Galen no again,
and that's hard, right? That it would be hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That totally would be hard, especially somebody who obviously means as much to as Galen meant to Picard, because he meant a lot to Picard.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have that mentor in our life where we're like we I don't know, for lack of a better word, we don't want to disappoint.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but I don't know what it is.
Professor Galen called him a dilettante.
I know. We should bring that back in the vernaculum. We should bring dilettante back in.
You're not a fan. You're a dilettante.
Yeah, if you're a dilettante, if you don't make a comment right now. Yeah. There we go. Nick, what was I going to say?
Frack those dilettantes.
Yeah.
Frack them.
But it was cool. I like the DNA sequencing. I like jumping around. I like that they were at least didn't get fooled by the Cardassians.
Yeah.
I like that they planted all those seeds where they're like, but then they fool the Cardassians going to a different sector. That was cool. I like it when the Enterprise crew is competent.
Yes.
Where little things don't fool them. That's good.
Yeah.
And I know plots but again, there's probably better ways to do it than to make Worf the worst security officer ever.
Speaking of, there was one other thing we want to talk about before we got into the chase. I guess we can do this on the back end.
Yeah.
Is that article I sent about Shatner?
Yeah, we'll do that at the back end.
We'll do it back end.
Do you have anything else about the chase, actually?
No, I don't.
All right, so we're going to rate this. Then we got 2 bullet points we're going to talk about. One of it is Strange New Worlds, and second one is Duluth.
Yeah. All right. So I guess, my score for the chase, like I said, I liked the episode, but it wasn't like an excellent episode, but it was entertaining. It was fun. So I'm going to give that a 7.
Nice. I'd probably do 6.5.
Okay.
Because I was entertained. I really was.
Exactly. I was entertained.
I really was.
There are a couple episodes coming up next season that I'm looking forward to watching. Some of them, like Masks, was not very well received by a lot of fans. I enjoyed that episode.
So one of the nice things, so I remember Mask and I remember hating it. The good news is for me is I remember there's like a lot of episodes right now where I remember not liking them where I'm like, okay, that wasn't bad. Like, well, I don't know what I was thinking. So maybe with Mask and Frame of Mind, which is next week.
Actually, I watched Frame of Mind yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. And, Frame of Mind wasn't a great episode. I had problems with it too. Yeah. But I don't think I enjoyed it nearly as much as this week's episode. Okay. So it's not going to get that high of a score, but it wasn't bad either.
Yeah, we should be back to 2 episodes next week with Nick returning. So, so Strange New Worlds. You said an article about Strange New Worlds.
Yes. So I saw this article about Strange New Worlds, and the producers of the show said their biggest regret was not finding a way to work William Shatner into the show. And they had an idea, which I thought was a great an idea, to bring him back. And it would have been a sequel to the first season episode, City on the Edge of Forever.
Okay.
And for those who don't remember, that's the episode where he and Spock went back in time to find Bones, because Bones had accidentally taken this drug and went crazy, and he had jumped through this time portal. So they went back to find him, and Kirk, as they do in Star Trek, falls in love with this woman who had just known for a few days, but turns out she had to die, because when Bones went back, he changed history. He saved her life, and her living changed the result of World War II.
Yep.
And basically, she was a pacifist, and she led this pacifist movement, and that became really popular. And because of this, it delayed America's entrance into World War II. Germany was able to develop an atom bomb before the United States did, and it changed everything. Starfleet didn't exist anymore because of that. So they had to go back and find her. So that was the episode. And, ultimately, Kirk, although it broke his heart, he did let her die. She got hit by a car, and Bones was going to try to save her. He stopped Bones. He goes, "Do you know what you did?" And Spock goes, "Yes, he does. He knows exactly
yes,
what
Doctor."
he did." And so that was the episode. I also liked it at the end, that when they got back in touch with the ship, instead of beams up, Kirk goes, "Get us the hell out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea for the sequel would have been set in a parallel universe where they didn't stop her.
Okay.
They didn't save her. And he and Spock, I guess, and Bones were left behind.
Okay.
And they would have revisited that. Now, I also would have been interested to see what they would have done about Spock and Bones, because both of those actors are dead now.
Yes.
So how would they have handled that? Did he and Edith move out to San Francisco or something? I don't know.
Maybe they just age up Ethan Peck.
Yeah, but the idea, that was the idea of the sequel, and they were disappointed they didn't get a chance to shoot it. And I'm like, I'm disappointed too. I'm almost disappointed they even told me about it.
Yeah,
now I want to see how that would have went.
It's quite the tease.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and the plan was to bring Shatner back for it.
Yeah, Shatner's he's still kind of spry for being 100 years old.
Yeah, he's well into his 90s.
Yeah,
but he moves and gets around like somebody who's 20 years younger.
Yeah,
because these days you see people in their 70s and they're pretty spry, and they're still pretty with it. And he comes across somebody who's at least a good 20 years younger.
Yeah, it's good for him, man.
Yeah,
good for him. So last time after we recorded our last episode together, Nick and I were going to Duluth. And so we love our Dio Cano, right? Dio Cano loves us back. Duluth does not love us back.
No.
But we love Duluth. If you listen to the show for any amount of time, their jeans and their draws are fantastic.
Draws.
We needed to go there because I needed to buy some work pants or whatever it was. And so if I go to Duluth without Nick, it's like I'm cheating on him. So naturally I had to tell Nick, I have to go to Duluth. Are you coming? He's like, of course. And then Bill's like, I'm here. I'll go too. Mm-hmm. And we're like, excellent. So we went there. I've got my ballroom jeans, which my fire hose ballroom jeans on.
Is that what they're called? Ballroom?
Yeah.
Okay, clever.
Yeah, clever.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than the threading coming to a point right where your sack is,
mm-hmm.
they have like a triangle area, so your balls have more room, and it doesn't do that weird pinch thing that they do sometimes.
Yeah, these shorts are doing right now.
Yeah. So if you would have got some Duluth, you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah. And and I looked at some of the stuff, and it is very expensive. But I've come to realize that you get what you pay for.
Yes.
And so I didn't buy anything this time. I'm thinking, I'm a big fan of cargo pants. We were talking about that before the show.
Yeah, I see where this is going, and I have an erection again.
I'm a big fan of cargo pants, and I'm thinking at some point I'll probably want to get a pair of Duluth cargo pants.
Just because I don't know if Nick is going to listen to this. Let's go to Duluth after this.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And we had donuts, Nick, beforehand.
This is for Nick, not
Nick and
you
Sean.
listeners. We like you. Yeah, for everybody.
Yeah,
except for you guys.
Yeah, because they're together where they're at right now.
Yeah.
They both left us, and they went together, and they didn't take us.
Yep.
Bastards.
Yep. So anyway, what's your host? A Duluth trip is in our future.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
About 20 minutes to the future.
Yeah.
Nick.
Suck it. Yeah. All right.
All right.
You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Let me hit this button then. There it is.
There we go.
I don't usually handle the soundboard. This has been Rob.
This will always be Bill.
We usually hear about every week. Bill and I are actually going to film another Star Trek Jeopardy for the future here. We'd like to try to get ahead a little bit because you never know what the future brings.
Yeah.
But have a great day. We'll see you next week when we're doing 2 more TNG episodes.
Yeah.
And be well.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Deuces.